Job chapter 9. And when I spoke thus to them, behold, there my wife Sittis came running, dressed in rags from the service of the master by whom she was employed as slave, though she had been forbidden to leave, lest the kings, on seeing her, might take her as captive. And when she came, she threw herself prostrate to their feet, crying and saying, Remember Eliphaz and you other friends, what I once was with you, and how I have changed, how I am now dressed to meet you. Then the kings broke forth in great weeping, and being in double perplexity, they kept silent. But Eliphaz took his purple mantle and cast it around her to wrap her up with it. But she asked him, saying, I asked as a favor of you, my lords, that you order your soldiers that they should dig among the ruins of our house, which fell on my children, so that their bones could be brought in a perfect state to the tomb. For as we have, owing to our misfortune, no power at all, and so we may at least see their bones. For I have, like a brute, the motherly feeling of wild beasts, that my 10 children should have perished on one day, and I could not give a decent burial to one of them. And the kings gave order that the ruins of my house should be dug up, but I prohibit it, saying, Do not go to the trouble in vain, for my children will not be found. For my children will not he found, for they are in the keeping of their maker and ruler. And the kings answered and said, Who will deny that he is out of his mind and raves? For while we desire to bring the bones of his children back, he forbid us to do so, saying, They have been taken and placed in the keeping of their maker. Therefore prove the truth to us. But I said to them, Raise me, that I may stand up. And they lifted me, holding up my arms from both sides. And I stood upright, and first pronounced the praise of God, and after the prayer I said to them, Look with your eyes to the east. And they looked and saw my children with crowns near the glory of King and the ruler of heaven. And when my wife Sittis saw this, she fell to the ground and prostrate herself before God, saying, Now I know that my memory remains with the Lord. And after she had spoken this, and the evening came, she went to the city, back to the master whom she served as slave, and laid herself down at the manger of the cattle, and died there from exhaustion. And when her despotic master searched for her and did not find her, he came to the fold of his herds, and there he saw her stretched out on the manger dead. While all the animals around were crying about her, and all who saw her wept and lamented, and the cry extended throughout the whole city. And the people brought her down and wrapped her up and buried her by the house which had fallen on her children. And the poor of the city made a great mourning for her, and said, Behold, this is Sittis, who like in nobility and in glory is not found in any woman. She was not found worthy of a proper tomb. The dirge for her you will find in the record.